The United States has said it has unspecified proof that there are tunnels inside the Al-Shifa hospital. Various other hospitals are being used as storehouses and more by the Hamas terrorists.
I can confirm for you that we have information that Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad use some hospitals in the Gaza Strip, including Al-Shifa, and tunnels underneath them to conceal and to support their military operations and to hold hostages. Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, PIJ, members operate a command and control node from Al-Shifa in Gaza City. They have stored weapons there, and they're prepared to respond to an Israeli military operation against that facility. Now, to be clear, we do not support striking a hospital from the air, and we do not want to see a firefight in a hospital where innocent people, helpless people, sick people are simply trying to get the medical care that they deserve, not to be caught in a crossfire. Hospitals and patients must be protected. And this just points out how challenging the military operation is, because Hamas has deeply embedded itself within the civilian population. Israel has now an added burden that they have they have an added burden given the way that Hamas operates. But as we have been clear on multiple occasions, Hamas actions do not lessen Israel's responsibilities to protect civilians in Gaza. And this is something that we obviously are going to continue to have an active conversation with our counterparts about.
And joining me now is my colleague Gursimran, who has been covering what's happening there on the front lines in the Israel-Hamas war. Israel fighting on many fronts. Now with this statement that's come in from John Kirby about how Hamas has constructed tunnels using the underground there in many hospitals. What can you tell us in terms of how this has panned out?
See, if you speak of the situation, I'm audible?
Yes.
See, as the situation pans out, we are into the 40th day of the war, and the situation, what it seems for now, that still the terrorists of Hamas are trying to carry out more and more intensified strikes on the Israel Defense Forces. The reason being that they know that they have occupied one of the major heights and also some of the areas when it comes to the Al-Shifa hospital, the Rantisi hospital and the others. These are one of the major areas where the civilian population is, be it the patients, those who are getting the treatments, or those who have been in support, who are the civilians of the Gaza, north of Gaza, those who have not moved to the south of Gaza so far. And using them, the terrorists of Hamas are trying to mount pressure on the Israel Defense Forces, because they know that if the civilians are targeted, then there will be a hue and cry, and they will be using that against the Israel Defense Forces operating inside the Gaza Strip, and that has been modus operandi. Now the United States has also warned of the similar modus operandi being used in other areas as well, and the US intelligence has also confirmed that this modus operandi is being used time and again by the terrorists of Hamas. Now, coming to the operations that are underway for the past 40 days, in the operations that have been carried out, there has been much damage to the terrorists of Hamas. Initially, the top leadership that was working, that was responsible for the 7th of October attack, they have been neutralized, and now the top commanders, those who have been posted post the attack of 7th of October, or those who were in touch with the top brass and were trying to carry out major terror strikes on the Israel Defense Forces, they are on the target of the IDF, and IDF has said it very clear that till the time the Hamas leadership is totally wiped out, the operation Swords of Iron will not end, and it will only end with the end of Hamas. And that's why the intensified operations they are carrying out has brought some relief and success to the Israel Defense Forces. And as we continue to report from the ground zero, we have also witnessed that the terrorists of Hamas, they are trying to carry out the targeted strikes on the civilians, especially those who have been working in the area, the area of the south of Israel, because the south of Israel remains to be very close to the Gaza Strip, and the terrorists of Hamas, they have been using the rockets to carry out strikes inside this area. Yesterday also, almost a dozen of rockets were launched from the Israel side that landed in the south and center. So after the 39-40 days of the war, the Hamas has the cache of arms and ammunition that they are trying to carry out attacks on the civilians inside the Israel's territory.